kwa game, you're as good as your last.
True.
Imagine an industry that is brutal. It doesn't give you the luxury of making a mistake and coming back and getting the next best gig.
And that's where we are at.
Right?
Yes. Hapo ndo tuko.
Ni zile za niaje. Your last gig, people will always judge you from your last.
Yes.
So I got into that job with a lot of, not panic per se, but like with a very bad taste in my mouth, because I was like, okay, niko kwa hii gig, but if I'm not able to deliver to 100, I'll always be judged by this.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm really trying to push it to give it my 100. But then the people around me are treating me like shit, man.
Ni kama hata uko kwa hiyo project anyway.
Manze nikata like unajua?
Walipokota huko hivyo kuja.
Manze.
Welcome to another episode of Sanaa Ya Wasanii. My name is Sheila Kimathi, and today we have Suki. Welcome to the podcast that celebrates and highlights artists in their own right. Karibu sana Suki.
Asante sana.
Siku mingi.
Siku mingi. No, you're keeping busy. I had to come here. I had to represent. You're doing amazing, by the way. This is good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Actually, it was my dream to have you on the podcast. Like in a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance. And I was like, nitasema nini? Let me think about it. And then they back out there. Then they come back in.
Yeah.
But you, it was just...
No, one time.
Sindio?
We do it. If something is working, it's working. Well, let's do it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thanks.
Please introduce. Tafadhali introduce me.
Oh, I introduce myself.
Yes.
So, wow. How do I introduce myself?
What's your name? What do you do?
Yes, to which camera?
Right. This one.
To this one?
Yes.
Okay. So, my name is Suki. My official names are John Michuki. I am a makeup artist by profession. That's what I do. I do makeup in film, for film. And I can say all my businesses are just centered around makeup or grooming. I also run a makeup school. And yeah, and on a personal level, I'm a father. Yeah. And I'm just this cool guy.
He's cool. He's real cool.
I hope.
Promise. I know you're cool.
Yeah.
Hey, unaponga tu mkuli. Unatu-inspire.
Thanks, man.
So tell us, how did you begin your makeup? How did you begin? How did you decide that you want to become a makeup artist in the film industry to begin with? Kwa sababu ungekuwa painter, ungekuwa artist, in fact, a rapper, a reggae artist.
Yeah.
You'd become a teacher. In your other aspect, you're also a teacher.
Yes.
But how did you choose just makeup? What did you decide to just makeup, and how did you do?
How did I choose to? I actually don't think I chose makeup. I think makeup chose.
Oh.
Miss William Ruto come nikwambia, yo, I started doing makeup when I was 9. You see those people?
Sindio.
Like, hey. You know, I started out as a barber. And, at the barber shop, you always reading magazines. I feel like I've told this story so many times.
Ujaisikia.
So, at the magazine, you're always just flipping magazines. And more than 10 years ago, being a makeup artist used to be like this very, very new thing.
Yes.
So a friend of mine who's a director now, he's called Lucas Sakwa. He directs film. I used to cut his hair. And at the barber shop, nilikuwa naangalia tu magazines, naona, hey, I'm a makeup artist, profile zao, nini. So I was like, this seems like a cool thing. So I talked to him about it. Hey, by the end, aliniuliza niaje, kwani hujaitaka kufanya kitu kingine? Nikamshow, I think nataka kuwa makeup artist. So he invited me to a set.
Oh, nice.
And I met makeup artist. So I started out as a makeup intern.
How long ago was this?
This is my 14th year in makeup.
Wow, so, congratulations.
Yeah, it's like ilikuwa ma 2010 huko. So this is the 13th.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Hey. So, when you're at the barber shop, so he asked you, do you want to be in the film industry, or do you want to just do more with whatever you want?
Aliuliza tu, like, hujaitaka kufanya kitu kingine?
Alafu ukasema tu makeup.
I think nataka kufanya makeup. Nilikuwa naona, ukiwa like, ini kitu cool ina happen. You see, like how there's usually like trends.
Yes.
Wasi wanataka kuwa ma DJ.
Yes.
Wasi wanataka kuwa photographers. Back in the day, I used to see someone bag ya guitar, msanii. So it was cool then to also like, the makeup was starting to, ilikuwa inaanza kushika. So
catch ground.
Exactly. So nikamshow nataka kuwa make. Luckily for me, I got introduced to makeup first through film. So, and I've always just done makeup around film. I don't do like wedding makeup. I just do film makeup. Only. Any makeup in front of the camera. I think that's what I'm good at. And you should always do it.
All right. When did you discover that you're good with? You said you only specialize in film.
Yes.
Film. Yeah. Have you tried to do makeup for other things?
Yeah,
like a runway.
And failed terribly. No, runway is proper for me because I'm a creative makeup artist.
Okay.
So runway is my area kabisa. Fashion makeup.
So
that do like some crazy makeup for like fashion brands nini. But weddings, no, not for me. Like I've tried it because at first you usually try all forms and see which one works, right? And it was the most amazing thing to accept that I'm not good at wedding makeup.
So tell us about your first day when you started your makeup gig now. Ile siku yenye uliamka sema naenda gig yangu ya first ya makeup.
So
nervous, wow, what happened?
But sikulala hiyo siku. I didn't sleep. I stayed awake like almost the whole night.
Ulikuwa na practice ama ulikuwa tu nervous?
No, ilikuwa gig ya kama makeup assistant to my mentor who's called Shiko. So that night alinipigia tu, and then the next day I was going to be picked up to a film set nini, but I was so nervous. It's like something you've never seen before and you've never experienced before. So, and I was so hungry also. I was hungry. Unaona ile hanga ya kujua kitu. Yeah, so I think hiyo ndio kitu naweza kumbuka sana. But I've never forgotten my first gig.
Were you shaking when you're applying makeup to the first?
I never applied makeup.
What did you
for do? Like a whole, I think 1.5 years, close to 2 years, and I worked as an assistant without applying makeup.
What did you do?
Cleaning brushes.
Oh.
Cleaning makeup, arranging the set, carrying bags.
The proper intern job.
Yeah. And it was amazing for me. That's the best lesson I've ever had in terms of makeup.
Who coached you into makeup? Who brought you into makeup? Now that you were introduced into this film industry with the makeup department, who brought you in, or who actually absorbed you and tried to teach you the ropes? Kwa sababu sinema ukiingia kama una godfather ama mtu utaona.
Hey man, inakuwa tough. So like there's this lady called Shiko, and she introduced me to, and that just amazing. So I interned with her even without doing proper makeup. Ile siku alinipe brush akaniambia powder umse, I was so happy.
After how long did you actually touch the brush and like fanya?
I think 1.5 years I stayed a good 1.5 years.
Just observing and practicing in your own.
It was a good lesson because I was making good money.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine uko ghetto, uko hood, alafu unapata hii job unalipwa rate poa, alafu na all you're doing, it was my intention to do what I'm told to do.
Like ulikuwa where you were the student of the art. That's it.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And you're not doing what what's outside, what you're supposed to do, you're not doing it. So
na plus do inakam.
So what's the fuss?
So ski.
And also the patience of like zile za I'll get there. Yeah.
Nice. How old were you at this point? Because you feel like
I was young.
You're very focused. You are a very focused individual at a very young age.
Well, I think I've always been the guy who believes if something is worth doing, it's worth doing well. That's all what I stand for.
True.
If I'm giving you my time, I'm present. If I commit to do something, I'll commit to do it. If I don't, I'll not commit. So I've always been like that. That's who I am. But I was, I think 20s. I was in my early 20s when I was starting out. So yeah, and that came in handy. So
tell us about your upbringing now. That how did you decide that, okay, makeup artist ulikuwa baba nini but ulianzia wapi from the beginning? From the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yeah, shule.
Like shule. Oh, okay.
Like
so I
high school, primary. What did you want to become?
Okay. So I actually, so I grew up in this place called Dagoretti Corner. Mimi ni msetu wa ghetto. Nimegrew tu hapa ghetto tu nini. Then primo, high school, then luckily towards high school my mom had already opened like a barber shop for us, so we used to go there when you're free, just cut hair, go to school, go home, Evo. And then I had my short situation at campus. I did political science in campus.
Are you serious?
Man, they like for a bit. Although I didn't finish.
Is it
then
something
I went
you
back
wanted, Kwanza?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a politician. That's what I thought, or just something to do with politics, because I believed that I can make change.
Nice.
Or I can impact people. And the only way in my young mind back then was like, if you're a leader or if you're somewhere close to politics or whatever, you can make impact. Or you can bring change. So
you can.
Of which I think weirdly enough I am in my own way as a makeup artist.
Yes.
So fast forward ukumbele, but that's what I was passionate about, and that's what I went to study, although I didn't finish. Then I went back to the barbershop, then stayed the barbershop. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa default setting. Ukienda kutafuta gig huku nje, job sijui nini ya kumarket nini, unaona wale wazunguka wakimarket, hello my name is una market vitu wamefunga tai, unajua
wanauza mavisu
manzejo. So I did that.
Oh, nice.
Then default in kwa barbershop, then then makeup.
Kwa hivyo umepata experience in sales actually, door to door.
Nimekuwa waiter.
Wapi?
Unakumbuka club ilikuwa inaitwa Tacos?
Najua tacos vizuri sana.
So ulikuwa unakuja tacos.
Wacha gege. Tacos. I wish ningekuwa kujua then.
Manze nilikuwa waiter tacos pale. For like 2 years.
It was a bartender, unaweza fanya cocktail bar sana.
Mixologist nini. So yeah, then nikaanza makeup, and I've never done anything else.
You've never diverted or tried to look for anything else?
Well, I've opened businesses like
just
outside makeup, and some like I failed terribly. But I think calling yangu ni is in grooming and anything around grooming. That's
so what I'm doing. Ulikuwa una groom wase ama ulikuwa unaambia manze sio kanyolewe ama you were the cleanest kid in school?
No, I don't think I was. But I think I was above average, even in studies. I was always on the good side, although I had friends on the,
on the other side.
On the other side, but I always tried to be the bad guy, because unajua kusurvive ghetto inataka itaki kuempoa sana. Inataka stamina manze, lazima uharden.
Si ndio?
Huko unachokoza na ukiwa light skin lazima uharden even more.
Exactly. Wenyewe ni msupu sasa.
Ukiwa ghetto manze lazima uharden. So like I can't say I've always been like the most groomed person even as a kid, but it will come with time. Could grow up, like from 14 to around 18, you're at the barber shop, you're grooming people. So that kind of like created some.
What was the most important lesson that you learned when you were running the barber shop at that age?
Nothing comes from nothing. Because, like, if you're at the barber shop, there are people who hang out with you, right? But you're able to make money and they're not, because they're just outside the barber shop. Barber shops ni place tu ile wase wanakam ni base. Sindio? So I guess looking back, naona nika, I think I must have learned a lesson of like nothing comes out of nothing. So you must go out and get.
You have to work for it.
Anytime. So that's why nimepush games sana, like nimepush makeup sana. Nothing comes out of that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because nakuona una market nini kwa sababu right now as you speak. Congratulations, you're the go-to makeup artist for Dark and Lovely Kenya and East Africa.
Nikona like I I don't even think ni like dark and lovely per se, but like naweza sema I've achieved so much with makeup that sometimes it's unbelievable thinking about it and thinking about where I've come from. And I think that's because I'm a go-getter. Like me, I'm saying I believe in possibilities. Like before I see the negatives, I see the positive.
Oh, nice.
So
You're one of the few.
So right. So
in this
so
world.
and my biggest gig I think was this gig I got with the American Embassy. So
Oh yeah, juicy.
hey man, so we trained 100 makeup artists last year
Nice.
throughout Kenya.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's also for me in a way of impacting the next generation of makeup artists. And you know, kugrow up na Safaricom manze kwa game yangu, kwa makeup game yangu, naweza sema even like 60% of the gigs imekuwa driven na Safari. The TV commercials, the in-house gigs.
How did you get to work with Safaricom to begin with?
Just understanding that my time will come, and also working under people who worked under Safaricom and under production houses that worked for Safaricom, and I can say I'm still not at a place where I'm speaking to them directly, but I'm hoping to. Yeah, but I've done so many Safaricom.
So what is your gig? What is the gig that you got and you're like, oh my God, I think I have become that makeup artist.
That makeup artist.
To get that call from that someone. And you're like, hey, by the way.
Okay, so I'll surprise you. I did in my when I did makeup as an intern, so my second year as a makeup artist, I did Uhuru Kenyatta.
Uhuru.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He was the president.
So
the first time anakuwa president. So
nyinyi mlifanya ile gig yenye ilikuwa MGM?
Hiyo so hiyo ni ya pili sasa. Alafu tulifanya ya Uwezo Fund. Unakumbuka like Uwezo Fund?
Nakumbuka Uwezo Fund.
So he needed to do an advert for that. And then for some reason I became the go-to makeup artist for like TV engagements nini.
Ulikuwa uncall your president.
Manze una come through. Ruto pale una come through. Now the president, but I did makeup for him when he was the VP. Then so that was the first gig. But the most surprising one was when Melania Trump came. Then I was called to like just for touch-ups.
Wewe tukuone hivi
kidogo tu hapa.
Tukuone hivi.
Sasa si mimi niko hapa si hivi aje. At the end of the day, like, man, I never let it get into my head, man. That's the biggest enemy.
Yeah, not enemy. I think that's a cool thing for you. Because I would now that you've said that, I would ask you how do you define success? Have you achieved it in your own way?
As a makeup artist?
As you, what do you do?
As a person? Yes. What I believe in,
what is success to you?
Success to me, that's an amazing question. Success to me is being able to know God and walk with God spiritually like that. So that's key. Then family. Take care of my family, man, like, and just ensure that, I have everything intact around my family. And, be a good father. And then now we come to business and business and people. This craft, this skill, this talent that was given by God, am I using it in the best of my ability? Am I pushing it? Like the makeup game, am I doing makeup to just benefit myself, or will I leave a legacy with makeup? That's success to me.
Yeah.
So success is in my opinion is like in bits. It's not one-sided. Like I can be the most amazing celebrated makeup artist, but I'm a bad friend.
Yes, you're a douchebag.
I'm a douchebag, and I'm a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Or I'm so can't be like, I can't claim that I'm successful if I'm that. Like, it has to be all rounded. That's what I believe. Yeah.
And
So
do you believe that you've gotten to that?
I'm striving towards success. I'm
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm striving towards success, and I think we're not so far off.
You're not so far off.
No.
How is it being a makeup artist and working in film hours and being a father at the same time?
It takes a lot of
How do you balance that? How do you balance family and film? Because it takes out of you.
yeah. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of understanding our industry, and it takes a lot of also and understanding means those around you and you as a person. Like, you really must understand that, like, if you're not a machine, like, you work for so long without a break just because you're passionate about it, uta burn out and you'll be replaced like
Quickly.
yeah.
Nani akuji job? Next.
Makeup artist mgani mwingine unajua?
Okay,
Unajua na anipigie. By the way, watu 10 watakuwa hapo on call.
On call, by the way.
Sindio?
Yeah.
So nikiunderstand hivyo, then najua I can even say no to a gig just because I dedicated this time for, just to spend time
Just
with my
to
son.
be yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just takes understanding on both ends, and also it's tough, man. It gets tough when it's dry because film is seasonal. We're not here to like sugarcoat anything and
True.
say how like, hey, in career, by the way, India was the best. In cheki, kuna kuanga na dry months, manze unaka 2 months without work.
Show.
Now, so you really must know this 1 month umepata gig. Ebu imagine like 2-3 months ahead, like maybe utakuwa na gig. What do you need to do?
Lazima ufikiria ahead. Kwa sababu our gigs are not guaranteed.
They are not.
It's just a matter of luck and what? Patience.
Yes. Yeah. Luck and patience and what?
Connections.
Yeah. Connect kidogo hapa kule. Sindio? And just keeping in touch. Basically, if you I usually treat makeup as a business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even treat it as a passion anymore. It's a business. The same way an accountant wakes up to go to the bank. Mm-hmm. It's the same way I treat my makeup business. So if I'm not on set, I'm working.
Doing something about
makeup. I am working to do something for my gig tomorrow and the next day. So
kama say, what's running through your head that is work?
Okay, so in the morning I woke up, answered, like just replied some emails, went to the gym, took some time to also like create some invoices, nini, and just catch up on gigs for kesho. Mm-hmm. Right now I have a shopping list. From here I'm going to shop for a gig.
And the gig is where tomorrow?
Supplies, for makeup supplies for tomorrow.
Nice.
Then, I have to plan my team. I have another gig on Friday and Saturday. So I have to plan that my team will just take care of that Friday and Saturday.
Right.
And so it's work. The same way an accountant goes to work, I have to dedicate time. I don't have to wait to be called.
When did you realize that makeup is work? Sorry.
After 10 years.
After 10 years.
Manze, like 3 years ago, nilikaa tu hivi nikashindwa. By the way, you do.
Unajidefine kama nani?
Najidefine kama nani. And this thing that I do, is it just like a random artist mwenye amedisplay art yake na anangojanga tu any stranger will come and see the art and purchase? Mm-hmm. There's nothing else I do to make sure that like my clients know that I'm around. My clients know that like hii wiki kuna kitu, so when you give me work today, I'm not done with you.
So you keep calling ahead.
Next week I'm highlighting at you, just checking up. If there's a holiday, hey, happy holidays.
Uko hapo rada.
Mimi niko rada na wewe because you are like you're the source to my bread.
True.
So like I should treat it
like with the respect that it deserves.
You're not doing me a favor, right? Like you're my client. And the same way businesses and organizations treat their clients, I should treat it as the same. I shouldn't, even if you're my friend and you give me work, I shouldn't expect that out of the ordinary, you should just give me work. Also, if I go to work and don't deliver, it's sindio, whether you're my friend or not.
True.
Yes. So any gig I get, I overdo. I over-deliver, man.
You just give it your 100%.
Like I actually think I'm more hardworking than I was 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Back to family. Are you married? I'm sure guys wanataka kujua your story.
Madam. Wanataka kujua.
Wanataka kujua, and how do you handle marriage with makeup? And of course, you're exposed to a lot of women in your
A
industry.
lot, yeah.
So how do you maintain the security in your union at the same time being the person that you are? And yeah.
No, it's you know, I think my lady understands. It like I've been at it for so long that anything that like unaweza kuwa possibly ulikuwa unafaa deal nayo ushadil nayo. In terms of
So,
by the hii ni job tu.
ulikuwa unadilaje mwanzo basi, kwa sababu sasa sasa ni kama umezoea kuona hii attention. Kitambo sasa mara first madem
wafanya makeup.
Yeah, exactly. Unajua mademo kwangi wazuri sana.
Sinile tu unaonyesha mtu ni aje, mimi nikomboka man. Mimi sitaki mambo.
Unataka story.
Niko era man, like and your body language and how you just express yourself. That I usually think the most communication is not verbal.
Yeah, it's non-verbal.
Yeah. So mtu anaweza jua tu mtu by the like adai form ya
Story yako.
Mwingine anataka tu kupiga job amekido yake.
Utoke wewe.
In a very good calm way. So I know how to neutralize situations and out of, so many experiences, and then I just know how to, just live and practice my craft respectfully and not in a way that.
What's the craziest situation you've gotten into? You've tried to not get into?
In makeup?
Yes.
In what sense?
As a dude in the makeup industry, what is the trickiest situation you've been? Because I'm assuming that, in fact, makeup ikianza, si machali wengi walikuwa nashika hiyo story.
Man.
Sasa alafu ulikuwa unadilaje? Like guys were not telling you, oh my god, you
yeah. You get that.
Like,
you get that.
How do you like stand on your own 2 feet and say, this is what I want by Shauri?
Money. When you start making money, when you start earning a living out of something and making a difference in your own life and people around you, then there's some sense of respect.
Being in the ghetto can be
na hiyo like nini, but you see, mi ni ule mtu manze, mi inakuwa tu focus na kitu nadu sana. So I never, there might be, maybe hizo like, watu tu wanataka tu kwa haters ama, but sikuwa hii experience first hand hiyo design.
Nice.
But of course kwa game tu unapata situations tu funny. But unajua tu kuzineutralize. Unajua tu kwa sasa utadu.
Always in the home.
This is what you love to do. This is your work. And I say it's in how you treat your work that speaks everything to other people in it. It's in how you do it. Whether ni dem atakama at me. Ama ni msee nitaenda kumfanya makeup. Aseme, mi sinifanywa makeup na boy bana.
Exactly.
Unajua? It's in how I handle it that will.
Ushipata hizo situation unachalia sema, mimi sifanyi wache guy. Alafu
like more than 1,000 and
how do you neutralize that situation?
You just by expressing yourself and in how this is what my nigga tukowera. This is what I do. Like kama unataka kukaa mbele hii kamenje, like you must go through this.
Na ni mimi tu naweza fanya
job by this ndio makeup artist hapa ama tufanye.
Hauchekangi
na makeup artist wako.
Hauchekangi ama you don't get offended when they say this?
No. Also, a makeup artist is a very like, this is one thing I realized about being a makeup artist. You meet so many people and you must know how to handle each of them. So I'm in your personal space doing makeup.
Yes.
So that means there's a lot that goes into my personality as Suki.
Yes.
So that I can be able to give you the right kind of energy.
True.
So that you can agree for me to do your makeup. Whether ukwe mbuji aje, whether ukwe mgeto aje, whether ukwe narcissist, whether ukwe tu nani.
Ukwe nani ama nani.
Mi najuanga, like I think nisha master tu hiyo kitu ya kufanya tu mtu.
Akwe comfortable.
I make people comfortable.
Oh,
so whether msea kuna opinion flani about maybe msaizi mfanya makeup atakubali tu and not in
a very combative manner.
itakuwa it's also in how I I deliver that information.
When did you learn to become this calm individual? Kwa sababu industry yetu itaki ikwangi this calm and collected. When did you become like, unajua nini, si kila siku ni visi, kila siku ni vita. Kwa sababu our industry every day is a fight.
You're so
fighting to breathe.
Very toxic.
Exactly. So how did you become this person who's very grounded and you know how to talk people down, walk them through the steps that they're uncomfortable with?
Yeah. It's okay, I'll tell you for a fact. Like when I clocked 10 years, I took like a lot of time to just think through what I do. And with time and with age, like kuna vitu mobs what used to piss you off like 5-10 years ago might not be the same.
They don't even matter now.
Yeah. So my goal is to make sure that you, as when you're seen on that screen, you're my canvas, and when you're seen on that screen, like the client is happy, I'm happy. That's a goal. Whatever it is, we'll do in the middle to get you and to get us there.
It doesn't mean like it means to an end.
Yeah. So for me, the only thing I don't think I would take polite disrespect in that, and people know that I'm not that kind of me bado ni mgeto at the end of the day. So like kuna hiyo so si ati mimi ni softy ati mimi ni calm, but it doesn't mean that atutali
utakuja walk around
unajua. And so nimerealize so much after clock 10 years, to be honest. So I'm more calm in how I approach gigs in a more calm way now than I used to before. And also, having been on so many sets, it gives you a very calm vibe. International sets, unakam local sets, unakam no budget sets, unakam small budget,
so zero
budget, unakam project yenyu mmeshikana mnafanya vitu. So like you learn a lot in just dealing with personality. Alafu inakuwa tu poa.
Oh, nice. So how do you maintain your calmness yourself? Do you go for therapy, or what do you do to maintain your what's the craziest that you just decided unajua nini sasa by the all the noise, for external noise, I'm getting rid of it? How do you get rid of all the noise and maintain your center?
Oh, cool. So I think you and I like still fanya yoga. Yoga, I was happy to see you walking in the mat. I was like,
nikikimbia huko hiyo
manze. So I took up yoga. Then I think I love my quiet time so much. So before I'm able to give to the world, like take time. Even before I gig, there's how I do my things, and even when I'm setting up, if I'm not ready to do someone's makeup, no one will rush. I'm not ready, so chill.
So ngoja kwanza.
Acha set up, and when I'm setting up, I'm just getting into my zone and just being ready for any kind of energy there's a letter to me niko tu. So I think when I'm prepping for a gig, just those few minutes I'm setting up, they're very important to me. So that's why I always try to be early for a gig, and so that I don't have to be rushed. I still need my
quiet time.
When you're having your breakfast, go to chill. So I take little moments and just try to get pockets of like peace and calm, even just throughout the shoot.
Nice. Wow.
So that gives me
the set is
inafanya nikuwe grounded, because you'll rarely, if nothing goes wrong on a set, mtu jiuliza ama kuna noma tu inakam. Hivyo ndo tumezoea. Tumezoea manoma, tumezoea tu
ila saa uko
kudili na mangori, so
unakimbizwa pia.
So it's also like nimezoea pia sahi, nishazoea si lazima set iende wrong. Vitu zinaenda tu poa.
Imagine. Si lazima uharakishwe hivyo venye
si lazima
unaharakishwa.
pia nichangamshwe sana.
Si ndio?
Mm.
So what's the thing that you've done the 5-year-old old you would be happy for? Sahi, what have you achieved that the 5-year-old you could be like, oh my God, yeah. I not see you getting to that point, but good for you. Yay.
The 5-year-old me would be proud of the older Suki who got into makeup, something that I never ever imagined that I would get into. Something that has a lot of like stereotypes and you know, being a male makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
And still pushing it and going through all the challenges and making an impact. And if I stop doing makeup today, I would still, my name would still
Remain.
Because I've been able to, I would, if I stop doing makeup today, I think I would leave the industry a bit better than I found. And it's in how I've practiced my artistry. And it's in how I'm intentional about like just making it a bit better for the new generation of makeup artists. Because hii kitu tunapass on here and there.
Really?
Like it's not, you know, I'm not becoming this go-to makeup artist so I can hold on to it and not share the knowledge. Yeah. So I think my 5-year-old me would be proud of this guy who didn't know anything, who wasn't born with it, but learned it and perfected it and mastered. Yeah.
What is the most challenging set that you've been in before we come to your...
I've had so many challenging
ile you have mpaka like you rethought your career, the one that had you rethink your career.
So in December there's a project that I did that made me think I'm a miss kwani party.
Wewe ni mchezo tu hapa.
Yeah. Ama maybe sick tu yangu. Kwani nimekuwa nikidu. So I did this project and you know ilikuwa tuna some sort of like bit of disrespect here and in how, you know, just people delivered information was quite different from how I think that, you know, that information delivered, and you know, any idea you come up with is not enough, you know, so it kind of like makes you think.
Your opinion is not valued. You're
Like,
just a
like,
cog in the wheel.
Yeah, I'm a mimi, you know, but I'm being hired as a consultant, so that means I have this thing that I'm bringing to the table that no one else here has.
Yes.
So if you think I'm good enough to do this, then you need to just give me some space.
Exactly.
And if I'm honest enough to relay information and just be honest about what I can do and what I cannot do, then unajua, it's like open, like
everything is on the table, the cards are on the table.
Yeah. So that's one of the hardest gigs I've ever done in December. I almost quit. I was like approaching it, I was like, man, me staki vibes mbaya. Because kwa game, you're as good as your last.
True.
Imagine an industry that is brutal. It doesn't give you the luxury of making a mistake and coming back and getting the next best gig.
And that's where we are at.
Right?
Yes. Hapo ndo tuko.
Ni zile za niaje. Your last gig, people will always judge you from your last.
Yes.
So I got into that job with a lot of, not panic per se, but like with a very bad taste in my mouth, because I was like, okay, niko kwa hii gig, but if I'm not able to deliver to 100, I'll always be judged by this. But then I'm really trying to push it to give it my 100, but then the people around me are treating me like shit, man.
Ni kama hata uko kwa hiyo project anyway.
Manze, nikata like, unajua?
Walipokota huko hivyo kuja.
Manze. So I think that's one of my hardest gigs. The other really, really hard gigs were like shooting projects so I shot a project in January that we're gonna shoot all-nighters. But you see, I paired that gig to the other gig, and I was like, this all-nighter gig that had very little money, iliniserve sana. Like, I was so happy to do it, even staying up all night, because the people around are just treating you with a lot of grace and a lot of respect for what you do, and a lot of love and a lot of, like, recognition of, like, you are tell us, what do you think we should?
This is your segment now. Tell us what we need to do.
Yeah, everyone do their part. So it always gets really crazy when someone comes into your area of expertise and thinks they know better, and they try to like poke you. So I don't like being poked. That's my personality. I just don't like being rattled and poked. And so it's one of those. Kwa film naonanga tu, it's more of like personality differences that bring a lot of problems.
I think in film most of it is people lack grace to express themselves and to listen.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure even in the gig that you guys were having contention with, if they just took time to listen to you, and then you're like, okay, so how do I plug it?
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own department, right?
Right.
And as much as you're a producer, director, blah, 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 everyone needs to be aligned to the project. Sindio?
Right.
Me kenye mi find inakwanga difficult ni the director speaks to a certain number of people on the project, alafu sasa wewe mwenye unafaa kuwa unashikilia department fulani unakuja later on, alafu uko surprised watu wameshasonga.
Unaomba utapelekwa na rada na
my friend, no one is giving you the grace to actually catch up with them because they're far off ahead. Sasa wewe ndo kwa hapo kikimbizana ukiuliza maswali. Now you look like you're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And they hired you to do your job.
You actually look really off. Yes. Even like your fellow crew, like wanaanza kuangalia zile za pedhi, uko sawa.
Ulikuwa wapi kwa?
Ni kama uko sawa. Ni kama, but you see, if it's a project that goes past one day, trust me, the first day watu watakuwa zile za by the way amekufanya mbaya, by the way wamepeleka na rada. On the third day inakaa ni kama like by the way wende uko
off.
Kwani hujui tunafaa tufanye hii kitu, but you are not even part of the discussions.
Exactly.
So unaenda ku rub off so many shoulders in a very negative way that leaves a very bad, vibe.
And even taste in your own mouth.
And to do the job. And so I'm very, very careful to take jobs.
Yeah.
Out of that lesson, I'm actually really, really intentional about.
How do you judge a job that you should take and what you should not take? What is your criteria to judge a job that you can take and what you can't take?
So I never take a job. I never take last minute jobs. That's my thing. Kabisa kabisa. If you call me, you have a job tomorrow, and najua ni engaging kidogo, that means kuna mtu ameblanda. So mimi nataka nikam ni
fill your gap.
And then whenever you're going to fill in a gap, know that people have expectations, and then the expectation has been lowered.
Yes.
And there's all the focus is on this particular department, and you'll always try to struggle to catch up with everyone else. True. And you might never.
True.
So instead of just looking at money as ndio kuna paper chase, ndio, but I make it an intention of really not taking up last minute gigs and taking up a gig that has disrespect in it. So in mimi nikakam to like kwa setup to ya like production meeting, and then you're talking in a certain way, in how you express yourself, you're disrespectful to me or any other person, I'll just walk off that.
Just like
I'm not.
It's not for me, thanks.
It's not for me because I'll enter struggle now because people in that room have allowed you
to become that particular individual.
And so, and I'm a person who's like really open in how I express myself. I don't speak to me that way. I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. So instead of that, I'll probably just not take up a gig. Nice. I've taken up gigs that I've had that have been about passion. So it's not usually really about the money. Because kuna gigs utafanya for free na ni gigs zinakuserve sana. Like you go back home like really
Feel
satisfied with what you've achieved. But this is not to say that money is not important. It's very important. That's why we do it.
Get paid, get your paper, boo boo.
Get your paper, because at the end of the day, you know,
hautaishi kwetu. Rent lazima ilipe.
You must get that money.
Haya, so who inspires you?
Who inspires
in
me?
Your work, particularly let's start with makeup.
Okay, so I watch a lot of I usually look at a lot of like international makeup art for inspiration. This guy who's called Mario, he started doing makeup for Kim Kardashian. Just
alikuwa stylist.
Alikuwa naenda sindio? And they started doing like tours together, and he's quite huge. So in the current vibe right now ya makeup, ndio mse uni-inspire, because he's able to like, ni mse majuu wakifungua store manze, watu wana come kumwatch out of like just how he's able to he's able to vile ame impact to like game. But my greatest inspiration, especially when I was starting out, is a guy called Rick Baker, who's the first makeup artist to win an Oscar. And he's done a lot. He's done a lot of movies from back in the day. There's gonna special effect.
Nice.
And he has his own like massive like makeup warehouse. My other inspiration would be this makeup artist I worked with when we were doing Sense8, and he won an Oscar in 2018. He's done like Suicide Squad, the Sense8, then he's quite old, so like just looking at him and his journey with makeup, yeah, he's a guy who just he does like 2 gigs a year.
I can imagine, because ni mzee.
Yeah, he just does.
And it's enough. Ulikuwa fanya nini Sense8? Mbona uko busy vitu?
Nilikuwa makeup artist well, nilikuwa like, it was him, then another makeup artist, then me. Then I had like 5
other people
like, yeah.
Did you have a particular actor that you are focusing on in particular, ama mlikuwa mnarushwa tu kila mtu alafu?
Tulikuwa tunapewa most of the featured cast for the Kenyan, most of the featured cast for the Kenyans.
For the Kenyan scene?
Yes.
Oh, nice. So what's the biggest gig that you've had? What's the biggest set that you've been?
The biggest set I've been on ni naweza sema ni Sense8. Kuna ingine inaitwa OSS 0SS, it's like a French James Bond. It's a James Bond but a French version.
All right.
So we've done that. I also loved Rafiki. So I did makeup and hair for Rafiki. That was an amazing set also.
Na waliwin tu Oscar kadhaa.
Waliwin tu awards wakule. Watu wote.
You remember Watu Wote?
You remember Watu Wote?
Yeah.
So I'd say Sense8 was the biggest set that has ever happened locally, to be with all honesty.
Was it as challenging as the rest of
them?
No,
it was proper. It was like 3 months of pre-production and 18 days of production.
So ulikuwa na
proper.
Solid 20 days of doing your job.
Yeah, it's like...
Were you nervous?
Everything is... No, like you've taken 3 months to prep for a job.
Fair enough.
So like you know what will happen every day. And everything is to the T, like hakuna kitu ingeenda wrong. So, and I've noticed that's quite different in how, you know, wase wa majua na approach feel.
Kwa sababu difference ni nini? Hebu tuambie kwanza.
Wanna take more time in pre-production and less time in production.
Yeah, because you see, in us guys, what we do is take more time in production and then less time. 2 days in pre-production.
Niaje kuna shoot kesho putwa. Kuna shoot next week. Kuna shoot nini short film.
So what did you do in pre-production that you think we can assimilate as Kenyan filmmakers?
You know what, I only think that the way to change how the to change the film industry is for each of us to change our own department and
Fair
how
enough.
we approach work in our own department. Like mi siwezi kuwa ule msee wa ati viva film industry inafaa ikuwe hivi. Mi niaje like ukiniita set yako nipe ile time na nifanya makeup, like ndio tume look around like tumefanya hata makeup test, tumeona hii makeup ina take this time if it's an intense makeup thing, makeup look.
Yes.
If it's just normal makeup, we need this time. At least give me a place that I can set up my makeup that has some
Light.
good natural light, and I can just come with a ring light and set it up. You know, if you don't have a makeup chair or a makeup mirror, I'll bring
You bring
some.
your own.
And it's in, I think nililearn a lot, like hizi vitu si overlook zo tuko sana in the end. Like
Kula.
manze nikikam kwa set yako uniambia manze hata hii ni touch up tuharakishe tuende, like at the end of the day I'll do so many touch ups kwa set yako and it will kill so much time.
True.
Set yote ita drag kama mse wa lighting ajapewa enough time kulight
Kila kitu.
utasikia tu majel zinaanguka huko,
Kweli.
sijui taa inaenda kuanguka ikuwekelewa sandbag kwa sababu umemwarakisha.
Kweli.
So I think there's a lot like planning, that
coordination
that needs to just get aligned. Like hii pressure tunakuwa na haraka sana.
Kwa sababu mimi wacha nikwambie, the one that I hate is the impromptu advertisements, and then you're like, oh, kesho tuko na shoot. Ya nini I ad, and the ad is massive and you're like, why is it only 2 days of pre-prod?
Yeah.
Why are we being rushed? Where are we going? Why can't it wait a week? Mulikuwa wapi? Ulipata hizo ads.
Like back in the day nilikuwa na get, but like this days I think inaanza ku streamline before. Like if it's a serious person, they usually approach you early.
Umewapatia terms and conditions.
And usually like in terms and conditions in a very subtle way, because you also don't want to like be like miss kwangi hivi and then lose out on work.
True.
You just tell them like mimi naona nikifanya hivi inaweza kuwa better, simuona imekuwa poa, then next time ataku. So you ease into it. So in my own department I've seen so many things that we can change, and I'm also like really really trying to change or to have a different mindset in how I approach my makeup on sets, so that game inaweza change out of that practice. And out of just us how we operate, then game it change eventually. If I do that in makeup and another person does that in lighting, and another person, there are so many talented people, filmmakers in Kenya.
True.
If we all approach hivyo, game it change. So we are not really thinking that ati film inaweza change out of people just forming a movement against film. This is our work. This is like
our livelihood.
This is where we wake up every day to hope that there's a lot more going on.
True.
Kukiwa na kama hii story unasikia every Monday, hiyo ina mess film industry in a very big way.
Kweli.
Right? So we wake up hoping that there won't be anything to affect this, like our, the nature of our work.
I agree.
Yeah, and a movement wouldn't be the right thing.
You must understand the dynamics of film first before the movement comes into play.
Yeah, just understand the dynamics. Try to change them, because like in changing how like you operate also, it changes a lot.
Kweli? Na uko na shule sasa?
Sasa niko na shule.
Manze? How do you impact this?
Suki Makeup Academy.
Oh, nice. Unaipata wapi?
Karen, niko based. It's a physical school. It's in Karen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Kumbe ni director mzima hapa.
Yeah. So,
nice.
If you're a makeup artist out there na unataka ku understand how to approach film makeup, basically just film makeup. Unakam pale, we train you. Then hopefully, if, we are trying as much as we can to just plug you into like real film situations, so that you can also try to grow yourself as a makeup artist.
Exactly.
Because also, unaona Kenya nimekwambia about like just being in like someone's like really really space.
Yes.
When you're doing the makeup, there's so many people who overlook even a simple thing as just hygiene. And the fact that if you have a bad cologne, itaniharibia tu mood yangu. Sasa ni 5 AM tunafaa tufanye makeup. like itanimes the whole day as an actor.
Kweli?
So understanding this can be like a very simple thing, but these are things that I've come to learn in 10, 13 years. I want to give all this knowledge and what I'm already also learning, because I'm a student of the world, man. I'm still trying to learn so much so that I can be able to impact more. So tuna train makeup artists, and so far the ones who've trained wanadu poa sana kwa game.
How many students do you have in your school?
So si wachukua every 3 months.
Oh wow. How many teachers do you have?
We've actually done we are now getting into our second intake. We have 3-4 teachers when you want to train makeup artists. So we train you a bit of everything, but mostly about
on film. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you can come and learn how the basics of makeup.
Basics of makeup.
Alafu sasa una diversify, unaenda into film sasa
Unaenda
kabisa.
film.
So what happens to the guys who want to go to the other side of makeup, like wedding makeup?
Wedding makeup.
Yeah.
Now we just
ama unawambia sasa
like naambia sasa kutoka hapa
ni wewe na Mungu wangu.
Ama like even before they come into my school, if you're not going to do film,
just don't.
Then I'll get you to one of my friends who has a makeup school for just beauty makeup and wedding makeup and glam. That would be more ideal.
Okay.
You see, but mine, I feel like I'm starting out with film because that's what I really understand. So I wouldn't want to teach wedding makeup if I'm not passionate about it. Maybe if I bring in a teacher who would train you on that.
There's a gig you were supposed to have the other day and you canceliwa with Ruth Mbogo. What's her?
Ruth. So Ruth was she was doing makeup training on makeup artists.
Yeah.
So she called me to speak on the gig to just come and speak.
How do you deal with imposter syndrome?
Imposter?
Do you even
Explain
have
imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome zingine unafanyanga kazi mpaka hindwa kweli ama hiyo ya kujishuku, unajishuku kama mimi ni makeup artist ama nimefanya poa. Hii makeup yangu inakubalika. Like am I up to par with the rest of the people? Sasa zingine inafika career fulani, career unaanza kusema ama stoshimo. Ama whenever you do a huge thing. For example, you had a gig on TV about vitiligo.
Yes.
So how did you feel after that? Did you feel like you portrayed yourself into your full potential, or did you feel like, oh, I would have done this. Oh, I think I should have done this. I think I should have done this other thing. Alafu sasa inakuwa affect, so unashindwa, by the way, pengine mimi si mnoma hivyo by the way.
No.
Hiyo ndio imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome hiyo. Mimi sinanga imposter syndrome.
Nice.
Like mimi ni ule msemo mwenyewe. Okay. Na understand that mimi najua what I'm good at and I know what I'm not. So that's why I told you in the beginning, if you call me for a wedding makeup, by the way umejiangusha. Unless you do makeup you fanya. So when I get a client, if they don't know what I do, I usually give them like a 2-second breakdown of what I do. Because I don't want to come to do your makeup and then we're less impressed with what I have done. I know I've done it to the best
of your ability.
But you, on the other hand, on the receiving end, you had this idea of what you should look like. So one thing I usually tell my clients, I don't make people look any different than they
need to be. Are.
Yeah. In makeup a cinema, man. Like, this is what I usually enhance features and make you look a little softer and, just
rougher.
You have nice lashes. So to just make you, my goal with makeup is to just make women understand that they might be a little more beautiful than they think. And with that understanding, I usually use their features and enhance them.
True.
So, sinanga hiyo imposter syndrome ya kufikiria like if I'm good or not good enough. Also, because of one thing, I never look at my peers in terms of comparison of what they do. I usually, makeup artists wa Kenya, like when tuna vibe now, hiyo wanga tu they are best, we vibe. And I never look at their work and be like, oh, I would want to be like this or I want to be like this. I just focus on my thing. I'm on my lane, man.
Kwa njia yako
wow,
mwenyewe.
baya
Mbaya sana.
with it mna move like yo hey ni expressway like lane yangu mi niko tu kwa expressway.
Nice.
So I have friends, yes. I sometimes I might approach a gig and be like, oh, this is a high profile person. You get nervous, but new approach na zile za by the way, if I've done my best, I'm happy with what I've.
That's it.
Kani nimefanya my best ni sasa.
Kuna kitu kingine unaweza patia.
Sasa mimi nitadu.
Unamweza patia kila kitu.
Yeah.
Nice.
So sinanga hiyo. And then also like I think also hii vibe what I was telling you about like how I do gigs and I don't let them get into my head because bado nataka kupanda mat. Kalo nimepanda mat. Bado nataka kwa ule msee na by two
unatembea tu
smoky kwa barabara bila pressure yote. I never want to elevate myself to a place where someone has expectations of who I am and what kind of life I should be living. I want to be free.
Nice.
So I never allow ule msalifanya ule makeup afai kula smoky. We kwenda huko.
Kwanza like, ulifanya unye makeup ndo kuna dreads na fika huko juu chini.
Manze. Like so like see? It's a huge balance. You have to balance it. Because mimi nimejua tu wa Kenya manze wanaweza kuelevate man.
Sindio?
If you're not careful like they can elevate you to a place that you can not Wezi shuka kwa hiyo ngazi. Na utajua umepandaje kwa hiyo ngazi. So even like when I meet people and sometimes I usually get so uncomfortable when people, I'm not good at taking compliments like in a way.
But because that's what you do, however.
I've learned so much to subdue like
unajua tu maintain.
Cause man, it's tricky.
Niku tricky
hapa hivi. Cause kesho utaniona kwa mata alafu.
Tulipie matu mzima. Ama kwa nini unatumia hata
ama hata ufai kuwa hapo. In your opinion since nilifanyia unye makeup hiyo ndio nakula hadi sasa.
Si ndio? In fact hata kama watu ushago na ulifanyia unye makeup hiyo na mpaka sasa.
Exactly. So ni kwa real pia. I think also with age you come to understand a lot, and I'm lucky to just be one of those people where that niliweza kudeal na hapo ka idea kwa sababu kwa industry yetu ni rahisi sana kuwa famous.
Ni rahisi sana kuluzio.
Ni rahisi na ni rahisi kufikiria that since ulifanya hii gig you will always be good at hiyo kitu unaambiwa unafanya. And you're not actually putting work into it. You're just
unarusha tu vibes and inshallah.
Wewe ni msanii tu, ulifanya gig 5 years ago. Bado unataka watu wakupraise for hiyo gig. Kama jana ulitu job yako sahi like iko aje, like una approach aje job yako sahi? Pole mimi ni mdeep.
Kweli true, kwa sababu wewe ungekuwa tu bado ungesema si hata wewe bado ni makeup artist wa president sahi as we speak. 5 years in a row, 10 years in a row. So shouldn't that have made you already? Unachiki venye tunasema ngai Emmanuel Jambo anakwanga photographer wa president and guys don't seem to know anything else that is done outside, but he's a very talented photographer outside the official photographs that he has taken of the president. But until that point ndo wanasema ndule photographer uhunye. So you identified with that stereotype like watu waoni job yako ingine.
Watu
sasa wewe sasa ungekuwa sasa wewe ndo pick up artist.
Bas ningekuwa hapo ningekuwa hiyo place yenyewe
president.
Watu wameniweka tu ati sasa I can't do anything else. It's quite,
it doesn't come with perks like kujangi na mazawadi ama inakuja tu na mashida.
Doing big gigs,
it
like, comes with a lot of what I've taken out of it has been a lot of self-belief. That's why I never look at anyone else's work to in comparison to what I do. I believe in myself 100% and what I do, and I believe that I can be better. So I'm a student as well. Like I'm not, I'm confident, but I'm not proud. Zile za niaje sasa nimefika. It allows me to see that there is room to do more. Again, mimi ule mse naonanga tu positives, ndio. So ina come to nakaleka, it makes you feel good when you're recognized by people who don't necessarily know you, but they know your work. So it kind of like makes you feel good. We are human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot of fair enough, like nikikutumia shauri yangu alafu uone unye pale, uone Melania Trump pale, uone Ruto, uone Sense, uone Rafiki, uone
una dim drop sasa kwa CV yako sasa.
Itafanya pia uone nika unaweza ni trust. If these people have trusted me enough to do their like TV and film engagements, then you can trust me. So it adds value to your CV to my CV as a makeup artist. So naweza sema hiyo ndio kitu nimeona naweza nime run nayo.